I earned an extra 800 Rand a month, or caring for a 5-year-old son, and then waitressing. So, I had a 24/7 job. In the mornings, I'd wake up, I'd dress for son, I'd take him to school, and I'd waitress. And till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd go fetch his son at school, do his homework with him until it's bath time, bath him, give him dinner, put him to sleep, and then that was the only time I had for me. Then Saturdays and Sundays, I'd have to keep him busy with what was necessary. So at 18 years old, I was basically a mother. That whole application, what women experience with their children, of literally having to work 24/7 a day, I've had that experience. So it was quite extensive. And during that time, I was introduced to drugs and alcohol and partying, and it was just wild. Sometimes we'd go out, stay up till about 5 in the morning, get home, get dressed, go to work, and then my whole day would start again. And it was the first time I was introduced to drugs, specifically ecstasy, which I used about twice while I was with Lynette and them, and with the people I was friends with. So then one day, now this was in 2004, one day Eagle and his fiancée came to the coffee shop, and they started eating there. And this is also some more background. In my school years, I was a Christian, extensive Christian, but not the whole belief in it, reading your Bible and going to church and Sunday school and all those things I did. But in terms of the heartfelt belief in God and all those things, wasn't really ever there. I just did it. But in terms of everything else, like for instance, the Ouija board and astrology and spirits and all those things intrigued me, but because of my Christian background, I was always afraid of it. Curiosity for me was always there about those things, but I never dared go into it because it's wrong and it's bad, and you're not supposed to do that, because that like little voice in your head going, although I didn't fully believe in a God or God being here, that voice goes, that's Lucifer, Satan, hell, I'm going to go to hell and not heaven, and that little background noise was always still there. And Eagle started talking to me. The first thing he said, I've got a little tattoo of an astrology sign. He started talking to me about that, and he said to me, what's that mark on your flesh there? I remember those words. And I said, no, it's my mother's sign, because she passed away a few years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And so he started talking to me about astrology, and so the conversation started going, because they came quite often, and I always ran to go and serve them because their chips are very good. So that was the main reason why I enjoyed waitressing for them. And then, one day, another one day, it was a Sunday, I was managing the coffee shop on my own. And I was manager also sometimes. And I went to go clear their plates after they'd eaten. And Eagle says to me, your mother is proud of you. Oh my God. When he spoke those words, I almost wanted to cry. It was so, the tears were here, this emotion just welled up inside me. I had to fight to just keep back the tears, because because of my mother's death, I was so not over it yet. And everything culminated from Erika being there and the whole change and me being stuck here at this coffee shop with Lynette, and she's got her drug problems and her relationship problems with her husband, affairs, God knows what. It was not an easy time. And because of the situation that I was in, the drugs and the partying and all those things, it's like, how can she be proud of me? I'm a mess. I was literally a mess. And after he said that to me, I just asked him, how do you know that? And he says, she told me that. How's that possible? That's impossible. I said to him, Eagle, that's impossible. She's dead. She's literally dead. But at the same time, I was quite intrigued. So, exchanged some more words, but not that I can remember. All I can remember is those words. He said, "Your mother is proud of you," and I almost wanted to really burst out in tears. So I kept my tears back. I cleared their plates as quickly as possible. I was still holding the plates then. He was still talking to me, but I couldn't hear what he was saying because when I was concentrating, I was getting out of the vicinity that I was in. So I wanted to run back into the coffee shop in the kitchen. So I did, and I cried. Man, I couldn't stop crying. Just uncontrollable crying. And I couldn't stop. And I was just, every time that I calmed down, they just come again. And they just come again. And I haven't cried like that before, ever in my life. And so when I eventually calmed down a little bit, now this little bit was that tears didn't come down, but, I was kind of more, when you cry and you go, like that the whole time. Yeah, that was me. So I walked out and I sat outside just to, calm down a bit. And here they come again, around the corner after they'd done some shopping. And just when I saw him again, I broke down crying. And I couldn't stop. So Nick came and sat down, and he just looked me in the eyes and he said, "Okay, calm down." And when he spoke those words, everything in me just went quiet, silent. I hadn't cried. I could still feel tears, but everything just went quiet. And he said to me to come and visit him and his fiancée. And I said, okay. So Lynette and myself went, and asked her to come with me, maybe because I wasn't brave enough to go alone, main reason. So I went, and we did some tarot cards. This was quite amazing. Because he could tell me things that nobody knew, only me. Was reading from the tarot cards from the way I was sitting. My back, I strained my back a couple of years ago when I was about 13 years old. And you could tell me about that, the reason for why I hurt my back specifically, my lower back. And I was fascinated, intrigued, especially about the tarot cards and what he was saying. And I quite enjoyed it. So after that visit, it was on a Wednesday,